How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to the channel for another Star Wars Battlefront 2 video. And in this video, we will be discussing the best heroes for each map in Star Wars Battlefront 2. I have had a ton of requests to do this, particularly since Battlefront 2's latest resurgence. So there are a lot of players right now asking, which heroes are the best for what maps. And seeing as the last time I done this video, it was like over a year ago, and the game has completely changed since then. So yeah, I figured I'd get stuck into this today to help some of you guys out. And I do feel like there is enough here in this video to help out all people who watch this, not just new players. Now, before we dive into this video, a massive thank you is in order. A few days ago, we actually passed 50,000 subscribers, and I gave you guys a challenge to hit that milestone before the end of the year, and you guys literally went out and done it in a day. And I gotta say, I honestly can't thank you guys all enough for your support. It does mean a lot, and I can't wait to see where this channel ends up in 2020. Now, I do plan on doing a massive celebration live stream in the coming week or so make sure you have notifications on so you don't miss that. So yeah, just a massive thank you to you all once again. I can't express how thankful I am to have such an incredible fan base, and yeah, you guys are the real MVP. But now anyway, back to business, into the video. Now, all of these choices are just my personal opinion, and I'm not the greatest player in the world or anything, but I've played this game for a very long time, and I feel like I do have enough experience with this game to try and help you guys out. Now, granted, most heroes can do well on most maps. Keep that in mind. I know there's going to be people that comment saying, I can do such and such on this map with this hero. At the end of the day, admittedly, it does all depend on the player. But if you aren't a top tier player and you're really struggling with heroes, then there is always a big chance that you're actually choosing the wrong heroes on certain maps. Now, in this video, I'm going to go over the Galactic Assault maps, as the hero choices in Capital Supremacy, they are limited to 4. And it's pretty basic on who to choose. There's not exactly a lot to choose from. But anyway, first off, I'm going to talk about Anakin Skywalker because he is nearly unstoppable on every single map in this game. And he is probably the only hero that I would say is in that category. So no matter what map you are playing on, Anakin is always a safe bet. So all the maps I'm going to talk about in this video, Anakin I will always recommend. So yeah, just remember that as you're watching the video, that every single map I'm going to talk about in this video, Anakin goes along with that map as well. But now, getting into that, now that Anakin is out of the way, the first map in this video I'm going to talk about is Naboo. Now, for Naboo, I recommend Yoda, Han Solo, Palpatine, and General Grievous. Now, this is largely due to the choke points in the second phase. On the second phase, there are 3 ways to get into the palace, and all 3 of them are fairly narrow. So it creates for some clustered checkpoint gameplay, and all of these heroes have abilities that can penetrate through those choke points. Yoda can force his way up the corridors with his Unleash ability, and he is hard to hit in the first phase as he is very small. As for Grievous, he can claw rush or use his unrelenting advance ability to, advance. It literally says it in the ability itself. And Han Solo's Detonite charge spam is OP in the second and final phase of this map. You will honestly be racking up kills with Han, and his shoulder charge and sharpshooter abilities help to clean out those narrow hallways. And of course, Palpatine. Combine his Dark Aura with his Chain Lightning in the final 2 phases, it's borderline OP. And his dash does make him hard to hit in the first phase as well, so these 4 are very, very safe options for Naboo. It also is definitely worth considering using someone like Obi-Wan Kenobi for those long hallways to use his force push. But now moving on to the next maps, and I have these together as I feel like they play fairly similar. So here we have Takodana, Yavin 4, and Endor. Now, I believe the best heroes to go with these maps are Rey, Yoda, Vader, and Bossk. Now, all 3 of these maps go from basically being jungle maps to having a claustrophobic interior in the last phase. So that's where these 4 heroes come into play. When you're in the jungle areas, you completely reap the benefits of having a hero like Rey. Her insight ability lets you see people that majority of the time you probably would have missed with all the scrub in the jungle. So spamming insight gets you a leg up on enemies you'd otherwise just walk past or see too late. Now, as for Yoda, he is really useful on these maps as he is a very small target, and trying to hit him amongst all the bushes and trees of Endor, Takodana, and Yavin 4, it's nearly impossible. As for Vader, he is super powerful and he thrives on these kinds of maps, especially in the last phase of all 3 of these maps. Vader's choke and lightsaber throw make him a must choose. And as for Bossk, his Deoxys allows you to flush enemies out of the claustrophobic jungle areas, and his predatory instincts ability, much like Rey's insight, allows you to see enemies that you might normally miss. So I absolutely recommend these heroes for these 3 maps. So now moving on to Starkiller Base, and we have Luke, Rey, Bossk, and Palpatine. So Starkiller Base is a good map because it has a relatively open area, then a choke point chaos area, then it transitions into a nice interior phase. And I think all 4 of these heroes work well in all 3 phases. Luke is probably my go-to for this map, as his repulse, push, and dashes are OP on the staircase in the 2nd phase. Rey is also a great choice because of her insight, revealing enemies in the more enclosed areas of the map. And I mean, her dash strike can make for some nasty multi-kills in the 2nd phase on the staircase. Now as for Bossk, he is just a safe bet from up close or a distance, and the combination of his mines, Deoxys, and micro grenades are just mean in all 3 phases and is great for holding down capture points. And Palpatine's chain lightning wreaks havoc in the 2nd and 3rd phase with some big chain kills, so all 4 of these heroes are very safe options for Starkiller Base. But now moving on again, and I have bundled another 3 maps together, those being Hoth, Crate, and Geonosis, as again, they're all similar in terms of layout and design, being they're very open. So I don't really recommend lightsaber heroes for these maps. But the heroes that I do recommend are Lando, Finn, Bossk, and Boba Fett. Now again, lightsaber heroes on these maps in the open areas, I don't recommend unless you want to play really conservative, and you probably could get away with Anakin pretty easily. Now, in my opinion, there are just way too many of those guys that sit in a starfighter all game and just strafe run heroes, and the lightsaber is just a dead giveaway. So with these 4 blaster heroes, you can basically just pick people off from a distance while keeping yourself in cover. Obviously, with lightsaber heroes, you can't do that. You have to be up close and personal, which 99% of the time means you're going to be out in the open. Now, you could use Leia if you really wanted to as well, but I mean, it's pretty boring just, spamming secondary fire at the back of the map all game. But anyway, Finn, his Deadeye is a legitimate aimbot ability, so you can't go wrong with him. Lando's Sharpshot is very useful for killing enemies at range, particularly when you use his Sharpshot star cards and they're all boosted up. His smoke screen also allows him to move up the map without being seen, and that is extremely important. As for Bossk, he is just built for maps like these. You can snipe, you can get up close and personal, you can literally do anything. And as for Boba Fett, he has a jetpack. He can get around quickly and pick people off from above. Now, all of these heroes are still great on the interior sections of these maps, but you can always switch to Luke, Anakin, or Vader if these 4 aren't doing it for you. So now moving on to Tatooine, we have Luke, Rey, Vader, and Kylo Ren. I just think the way that Mos Eisley map is played, it really does complement lightsaber users. The force jump to get onto the rooftops is fairly essential. I mean, it's over if you have the high ground. So yeah, I'm not going to spend too long on this. Death from above is helpful with Tatooine, and it's good to have some strong lightsaber users who can spam in the bazaar, cantina, and hangar. I do actually think that Tatooine is one of the most hero-friendly maps where pretty much all heroes serve a good purpose, and I don't really think that you can go wrong here. But in my opinion, Luke, Rey, Vader, and Kylo Ren are the pick of the bunch for this map, but it is ultimately down to your playstyle. But now moving on to Jakku, and we have Luke, Yoda, Kylo Ren, and Darth Maul. Now, I know this isn't really anyone's favourite map, but if you do decide to actually stay in the lobby when Jakku rolls around, then these 4 heroes are probably the ones that I would go for. Now, all 4 of these heroes are fast-paced lightsaber heroes and require you to keep busy with their abilities. And I really do think that that complements Jakku very well. The 2nd phase on Jakku is very poorly designed, and you can actually take advantage of it if you do get behind enemy lines. And a fast, powerful lightsaber user is the most effective way to do that. So Luke, Yoda, Kylo Ren, and Darth Maul, I would definitely run these 4 on this map and just see how you go. But now moving on to Kashyyyk, and we have Yoda, Rey, Darth Maul, and General Grievous. Now Kashyyyk is a weird map because it's open but it's enclosed at the same time due to a lot of the shrubbery and platforms. So you probably could get away with getting creative with your hero choices for this map. But I have found that these 4 heroes have been the most effective for me personally. Yoda is just stupidly hard to hit on this map. Rey's insight makes those flanks around the shrubbery nice and easy. Darth Maul's speed is very important on this map, both to avoid vehicles and to close down enemies. And General Grievous's Claw Rush is always great value on this map. Now admittedly, I have been forced to play with Darth Maul and General Grievous quite a bit on Kashyyyk because of the error locking in capital supremacy. So I have had a lot of game time with most of these heroes on Kashyyyk. But now onto the second to last map for this video, we have Kamino. So for this map, I do recommend Yoda, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Darth Maul, and Palpatine. This map starts off with a very claustrophobic phase, then transitions to a more open area, then goes back into a close quarters area, and then finally, the long hallways. Now, this is where these heroes come in use, as I think they are some of the best for all of the phases. They can all handle the close quarters situations as well as the open areas of Kamino that allows you to send people off platforms with push abilities. And of course, those long hallways, which Yoda and Obi-Wan absolutely thrive in due to their damage absorption, or in Obi-Wan's case, damage reduction abilities. So between these 4 heroes, you really cannot go wrong on Kamino. So finally, that leaves us with the second Death Star. In my opinion, the map that makes using heroes more fun than any other map. So the heroes I recommend for this map are Luke, Rey, Darth Vader, and Kylo Ren. Luke is just insanely powerful on this map, as all of his abilities mixed with narrow corridors means the enemy literally has no chance. Now as for Rey, her insight ability tends to reveal most of the enemy team, and the way the map is structured, you can get in behind the enemy team really easily. And those dash strikes through narrow hallways are just unstoppable. Now as for Darth Vader, this map was literally built for Darth Vader. The lightsaber throw takes up basically the width of most of the hallways, so it can't really be escaped in most areas. And as for Kylo, his frenzy ability combined with this map makes for some crazy hallway lightsaber use. Honestly, if you're any of these 4 heroes on this map, you are going to have a ton of fun. You could use heroes like Chewie or Palpatine as well, but these 4 are the ones that I absolutely recommend for the best results. So guys, those were, in my opinion, the best heroes for each individual map in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Obviously, this isn't the definitive list, it all comes down to playstyle, but for those of you who are struggling or just curious, this is certainly a good place to start, and I hope it helps you guys out. So anyway guys, what do you all think of this? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. And if you did enjoy this video or found it somewhat helpful, then feel free to subscribe to the channel for more Star Wars Battlefront 2 content. But anyway, that is going to do it for this video. I'm going to wrap it up quickly as I feel like I am starting to actually lose my voice. So until next time, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.